Hey guys, this is Miss Arlequin, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how you are going to practice and keep track of your ELA goals. All right, so a couple of weeks ago, we took our first iReady test of the year, and after that test was completed, you received a copy of your iReady score report through Gmail. And you use that to set some ELA class goals for yourself. So everybody set a goal that was specific to skills that they needed to work on. So we have some goals for improving our ELA skills. Now what? Well, what you want to do is you want to, every week, practice those goals in some form. And because we set 3 different goals, a vocabulary goal, an informational text comprehension goal, and a literary text comprehension goal, we have 3 different areas that we can work on. Now, it doesn't make sense to work on each of those areas at the same time. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to choose one of your goals to work on at a time. So one way to do this would be maybe to spend 1 week on vocabulary, and then maybe the next week you work on informational text comprehension and switch it off that way. You might want to work on your goal a couple of nights a week. So you might maybe want to spend one night doing vocabulary and then the next night doing informational text comprehension. It's really up to you. You want to use your own judgment for what goals you think are the most important. You have to think about what you're struggling with in class or in your past experience taking ELA exams. Which areas of the test did you find the most challenging? Which goal do you think would help you improve and perform better in ELA class with our classwork and our homework? So whatever decision you make, choose one goal to work on at a time. Then you're going to use a goal tracking form to record the activities that you complete in order to work on your goal. All right, so the goal tracking form looks like this. There is a copy of this form attached to the Edmodo assignment that is also containing this video. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to either print out this form or you're just going to want to open it and then use the format to set up this chart on a sheet of loose leaf paper. And so this form, whether it's printed or whether you're creating it on loose leaf, is to be kept in your ELA binder in the homework section. And what you're going to want to do is every time you are either at home or in class, perhaps during independent menu, when you finish an activity early. Whenever you are working on your goal, you are going to record what it is that you've done. So let's say, for example, October 9th, what I did to work on my goal. It might be that I completed an iReady lesson that I asked Miss Arlequin to assign me based on that skill. I might have used some materials from Edmodo. There are folders with different skill practice worksheets and lessons. So if I use that, then I'm going to describe that here. And so perhaps I decided to work on my vocabulary goal first. And my vocabulary goal is working with prefixes. And I went to the Edmodo folder with prefixes. So I might say I studied the prefix list for pre-words. Oops, what's a suffix? Pre-words. And wrote sentences for each of the vocabulary words. Now, if that is the activity that I completed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a copy of that practice. So maybe I printed something out from Edmodo and did the worksheet, or maybe I just looked at it on Edmodo and did my work on loose leaf. Whatever that is, I'm going to make sure I keep a copy of that practice work in my ELA binder, in the homework section, in the same place that I'm keeping this tracking form. All right, so for weekly practice, what are some things that you could do? I already mentioned a couple. You could work on iReady lessons that are specific to your goal. So if there is a specific skill, just ask me to assign you extra lessons related to that skill that you want to practice, and I'll do that. Again, you can use the resources in the Edmodo folders, so you can print the handouts and worksheets or complete the activities on loose leaf. And you can also use Google to search for activities that are specific to your skill. And so you might open up a Google page, and let's say your goal is to work on prefixes, and one of the prefixes is the IM prefix. You'll go to Google and you'll type in a specific search, something like prefix IM practice, and then you'll see that there are a bunch of results. Now, some of these results might not be helpful. That's the danger when you do a general search online. But I can see that right here, this is a challenge game. This would be actually something really good. This is a game that I could play where I could practice recognizing this prefix. However, if I don't know what that prefix means, I might not want to do the game before I actually learn about that prefix. Here's another one that says prefix and suffix practice. Here is a PowerPoint that probably a teacher created. This might be a lesson. And so I'm going to probably try this search result first. Just like with anything online, you basically have to see what comes up and you got to test it out. I might click on this and it might take me to the PowerPoint and I might realize that this actually doesn't work. And so then I would press the back button and check some of the other results out. All right, so those are some ways that you can practice your goals. Now, once a week on Edmodo, I'm going to post this goal tracking form. And what you're going to do is you're going to update me on what you have worked on this week. And so you'll enter in your class, you'll enter in which goal you've been working on, and then you'll describe very briefly what you did to practice that goal. One final thing I would like to review is how to find these practice activities in Edmodo. And so there has been a previous video about using your folders, and I just want to review it for anybody that's forgotten. When you are logged into Edmodo, if you go right here to your groups and you go to the ELA group, it's going to take you to the ELA group page, and right here you're going to see folders, and if you click on that, it's going to take you to folders that I have shared with your class. And so some of them are standard things that we've done in class, like our class intro documents, our book report task sheets, but then there will also be folders that are based on skills. So if, for example, your vocabulary goal was advanced vocabulary work, you will find some lessons in here that you can complete. I'll use this as an example. It'll pop up. It's downloading it for me. And then I can open up that document and I can use that to practice my skill. Let's say, for example, I mentioned prefixes. Let's say prefixes is your goal. Right here we have a prefix folder and you will find a lot of different documents. And since they are numbered, I would actually try to start with number 1 and go in order. So I'm looking for word list 1. That could be the very first way I start. Word list 1 pre. And so if one of my prefix recommendations was pre, this would be a perfect list for me to use. There's a list and then there is also a quiz. So I have 2 ways to practice. All right, and so that is how we're going to practice our ELA goals in class.